In today's world, where automation, globalization, and constant change define how work is done, Seth Godin begins Linchpin by challenging a deeply rooted belief that doing what you're told and following the rules is the safest path to success. He argues that this mindset belongs to the industrial age, an era when factories needed obedient workers who performed repetitive tasks. That world is disappearing. Machines can now do predictable work faster, cheaper, and without emotion. What remains valuable is not compliance, but creativity, emotional intelligence, initiative, and the ability to solve problems that do not come with instructions. This is where the idea of a linchpin emerges, a person so valuable, so connected, and so essential that the organization cannot function the same way without them. A linchpin is not defined by job title, authority, or formal power. Instead, a linchpin is someone who brings humanity into their work. They care deeply about what they do, take responsibility beyond their job description, and consistently create value that cannot be easily replaced. Godin emphasizes that linchpins are not superhuman geniuses or charismatic celebrities. They are ordinary people who choose to act differently. They show up fully, bring insight and generosity to their roles, and treat their work as art rather than as a checklist of tasks. The book strongly criticizes the traditional education and employment systems that train people to obey rather than to think. From a young age, people are taught to follow instructions, avoid mistakes, and seek approval from authority. While this behavior may lead to short-term comfort, it creates long-term vulnerability. When a worker is easily replaceable, they live in constant fear of losing their job. Linchpins, on the other hand, create security by becoming irreplaceable, not through manipulation, but through contribution. One of the most important ideas in the book is the concept of emotional labor. Godin explains that emotional labor is the effort involved in managing feelings, building trust, creating connections, and navigating uncertainty. Unlike physical or mechanical labor, emotional labor cannot be automated. It includes listening deeply, solving ambiguous problems, leading without authority, and caring about outcomes. Linchpins willingly engage in emotional labor, even though it is uncomfortable and risky, because that is where real value is created. Fear plays a central role in why people resist becoming linchpins. Godin introduces the idea of the lizard brain, the primitive part of the brain that seeks safety and avoids risk. The lizard brain tells people to stay quiet, avoid standing out, and do only what is required. It whispers that creativity is dangerous and that failure is humiliating. According to Godin, the lizard brain is not evil. It is simply outdated. It evolved to protect humans from physical threats, not from modern professional challenges. To become a linchpin, one must learn to recognize the voice of the lizard brain and choose not to obey it. Godin repeatedly emphasizes that resistance, the internal force that stops people from doing meaningful work, is the true enemy. Resistance shows up as procrastination, perfectionism, fear of criticism, and the belief that one is not ready yet. Linchpins do not wait for perfect conditions or permission. They act despite uncertainty. They understand that meaningful work always involves risk, and they accept that not everyone will approve of what they create. Another powerful theme in the book is the idea of gifts. Godin uses the word gift to describe work that is freely offered, generous, and meaningful. A gift is not a transaction. It is not done in exchange for praise, promotion, or money. Linchpins give their best ideas, care, and creativity because they choose to, not because they are forced to. This generosity builds trust and connection, making their work more impactful and harder to replace. The book also explores the importance of culture and tribes. Godin explains that humans naturally seek connection and belonging. Linchpins understand the culture they are part of and help shape it. They connect people, ideas, and resources. They lead not through authority but through influence. Leadership in this sense is not about control, it is about responsibility. Anyone can lead by choosing to care and to act. Godin challenges the myth that creativity belongs only to artists. In Linchpin, creativity is defined as the ability to solve problems in new ways, to see possibilities where others see limitations, and to make decisions without clear instructions. A programmer, teacher, manager, or customer service representative can all be artists if they approach their work with originality and intent. Art, in this context, is not about aesthetics, it is about impact. The book makes it clear that becoming a linchpin is a choice, not a promotion. No one will assign you the role. You must decide to step into it. This choice involves vulnerability, because putting yourself into your work means risking rejection. However, Godin argues that avoiding this risk leads to a deeper regret, the regret of never fully contributing. Godin also addresses the fear of failure and criticism directly. He explains that criticism is unavoidable when doing meaningful work. Safe, average work rarely attracts attention, but it also rarely matters. Linchpins accept that criticism is part of the process and learn to separate constructive feedback from fear-based judgment. They do not allow the opinions of others to silence their voice. Money, according to Godin, is a side effect of value, not the goal. Linchpins are often well compensated, but not because they chase money. They focus on creating value, solving real problems, and building relationships. In the long run, these contributions lead to opportunities, recognition, and stability that cannot be achieved through obedience alone. The book also dismantles the idea of job security. Godin argues that no job is truly secure if it depends solely on following instructions. True security comes from being able to create value anywhere. Linchpins carry their skills, mindset, and generosity with them. Even if they lose a job, they are not lost, because they know how to make themselves useful again. As the book progresses, Godin repeatedly returns to the idea that the world needs more linchpins. Organizations, communities, and societies thrive when people take responsibility and care deeply about their work. The future belongs to those who can navigate complexity, connect emotionally, and lead with empathy. In conclusion, Linchpin is not a motivational speech. It is a call to action. Seth Godin does not promise that becoming indispensable will be easy or comfortable. Instead, he offers something more honest, a path toward meaningful work, personal dignity, and lasting impact. The choice is clear. You can wait to be told what to do, or you can decide to matter. You can hide behind fear, or you can contribute your best self. The world does not need more compliant workers. It needs people who care enough to lead, to create, and to give. Becoming a linchpin is not about changing who you are. It is about choosing to show up fully, every day, and making the decision to be indispensable.